Straight all day.
Now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you're expected to achieve is yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative. What is that? That's the go-getter energy that you feel whenever you get into the mindset of you're going to make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. You know that feeling. We're going to put all this together and make it permanent. And we're going to put all this into one bundle, one mindset, one method, one philosophy. There's a book by the same name, and right now you're listening to the podcast, or what I call the master class, that is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome to the show. Today's topic, simple steps to putting yourself on. And I put that in quotation marks. Quote, putting yourself on, close quote. In other words, when you're trying to get your foot in the door, as they say, to a particular industry, or you're trying to get yourself known in a certain space, how can you do it if nobody's going to do it for you? Nobody's helping you out. Nobody's giving you any information. How can you put yourself on? I personally put myself on when I was playing ball. Put myself on online. I put myself on in the business world. And naturally, people knowing this, or once they find out about it, or maybe they notice it themselves, they ask me about this. What do I need to do? What steps do I need to take, Dre, if I want to get my foot in the door? How do I get started? And maybe you get asked these same questions. Maybe you have these questions about certain things you're trying to do in your life. And almost everyone at some point in our lives and our careers and our journeys, whatever it is we get involved in, at some point we all have this question. How do I put myself on? How do I get myself started? Because we all got to start somewhere, right? All of us got to get started somehow, some way in anything that we're going to be successful in, anything that we become successful in. The exception being those of us who have some kind of in, meaning maybe you were born into the right family. Your parents already had you set up. Your family had you set up in a way that you didn't have to get your foot in the door. You were born already inside the room. So unless you're one of those people, you were born inside the room, or you just had some lucky connection that allowed you to pass over, to forego needing to somehow figure out how to get into the room. All right, if you're one of those people, then what I'm going to talk about here today really doesn't apply to you, because you don't need this information. But anyone who does need to get your foot in the door. You weren't born into the right family. You didn't have the right connections, quote unquote, the right connections. Then everything I'm going to talk about here today is about earning your way in, because we all have to earn our way in somehow, some way. And today I'm going to share with you how to do so if you're looking to get started right now. Or maybe you'll be looking to get started next month. Just remember what I said here today, or save this, download, whatever it is you do to save this information, make sure you have access to it forever. And if you're a game group member, which you can become at Work on Your Game University, workonyourgameu.com, then you will always have access to this. So let's get right into it. Point number one, today's topic, once again, is the simple steps to putting yourself on in life. Now, before I even get into these points, I want you to understand that there are multiple ways to put yourself on. Now, there's no one way. I'm going to give you a process here that anyone can follow, even if you don't know anything, even if you don't know anyone, even if you think like you have zero resources for putting yourself on. The process that I'm going to give you here today, you can utilize this no matter what your background, where you're from, how much information you have or do not have. And understand that maybe you could possibly skip one or two of these steps in some ways. You can maybe jump in at step 2 or jump in at step 3 instead of starting at step 1. But I'm going to give you all of the steps, the whole process, because if you have all the information, then you'll know, all right, I can skip step 1 and go straight to step 2 because I already got step 1 figured out. Or if you're the type of person who other people are coming to you looking to get on, here are the steps that they need to follow to make sure that they're serious, make sure they're really putting in the work they have to put in, so that you're not putting on somebody or giving an opportunity to somebody who's going to squander it, or who isn't really going to value it, or who hasn't really earned it. So that's why I'm giving you these steps here today. And as you understand these steps, I'll explain them. You will understand by the end of this class. As you understand these, you'll be able to figure out, okay, I've done that step, or I can pass over that step, I'll go to this step. So just listen closely, you'll get it. And I'll probably talk about that as I go through it. Point number one, the topic once again is how to put yourself on in life, the steps. Point number one, find someone who is already doing it. Find someone who is already on, who already is in the spot that you want to get to, or who has already been in the spot that you want to get to. They already know what they're doing. It's pretty much proven. They are out there. All right. So the first step is find that person who's already on, period. All right. You got to figure out who already is in the spot that I want to get in. Who's already doing the thing that I want to do? Who has already achieved what I want to achieve? Now, the next thing that you need to understand here, we're still on point number one, is that these people do exist, and that they are out there, and that they are usually pretty easy to find. Because the reason why they're pretty easy to find is because when people are successful, they usually let people know about it. They're usually very open about sharing the fact that they become successful, and even sharing how they became successful. So whoever it is that you're going to model yourself after, they already exist. They're already out there, and they're waiting for somebody like you to come around and ask them, hey, how do I get on? What do I need to do? Or just to come in and learn at their feet, basically to learn what they're already doing. Find a person who already knows what they're doing. They're out there. They're easy to find. And what you want to do at this point that you've identified this person is you want to get into their mix, or you want to get into this person's circle. Whatever way you need to do that, you do it. You need to get on their team. First thing you need to understand before you even start trying to get on the person's team is that they're probably busy. They're busy doing the thing that you're trying to do. Whatever it is you're trying to do is probably a worthwhile level to get to, right? And there's probably going to be some work involved, and it may be work that you want to do, work that you want to be involved in, but there's work involved, which means this person who's already on, they're not just sitting around waiting for somebody like you to come around because they have all the time in the world to just dedicate to you and donate their time and attention to you. They're out there doing the thing. All right, that's why they're the person who you identified in the first place. You identified them because they're out there doing what they need to be doing, right? Which means you need to figure out how to get into this person's mix. All right, take a look at what they have out there. Take a look at where they're at. Take a look at what they're doing. See what they're doing well. What is it that drew you to them in the first place? How did you first hear about this person? Then you need to figure out how to get around them, how to get into that circle, on that team. But knowing that they're busy, knowing that they're in demand, and that they have stuff going on, how exactly do you get a person's attention who's already in the spot that you want to get to? This is the $1 million question. We'll not even say $1 million. It's a $100,000 question. It is $1 million question, but there's some more questions we're going to ask here today. So to keep it all relative, we'll call this the $100,000 question. So you say, Dre, I've identified the person who's already in the spot that I want to get in. I've identified the person whose circle I want to be a part of. But the question is, since they have all these people who are trying to get in their circle, all these people who are sending them messages and emailing and trying to borrow 5 minutes of their time, which is really 15 minutes, not 5. How do I get in this person's circle? How do I get this person's attention? How do I get this person to easily pay attention to me? Here's how you do it. I'm going to give you the easy way to get any person, no matter how busy, how in demand they are, how accomplished they may be. How do you get that person's attention? This is how you do it. Make them an offer which they cannot refuse. I'm taking a second to breathe deeply on that because I want you to really think about it. See, when you make a person an offer that they can't refuse, actually, let me back up. If there's something that you want that you think will be very difficult to obtain, the simplest way to get it is to make that person, place, thing, whatever it is you're trying to get to, make an offer that they simply cannot refuse. An offer that's so good that no matter how busy they are, no matter how many other things they have going on, they just can't pass up the offer that you made. So let me tell you how you're trying to get in the circle with somebody who's already where you want to be. Let me tell you a general strategy for making that offer that will almost always be accepted is that you offer to help that person and don't charge them a thing. You offer to help another person and say, I just want to help you because I want to be in your circle. I just want to be around. I just want to be in the mix. I just want to be in the environment. I just want to be in the room. And here's the kicker. I'm not asking for anything in exchange. You got that? So you're going to offer to help that person. Offer to do whatever you need to do just to be in the room and don't ask for anything in exchange. And when I say don't ask for anything, I literally mean do not ask for anything. Do not ask to be paid. Don't ask to be paid later on. Don't ask them to sit down and give you information. Don't ask them to answer your questions. Don't ask them to give you some information or tell you what you need to do or connect you with some of their contacts. I get people asking me all these kind of questions all the time. They're not offering me anything. They're just asking me to do these things for no reason whatsoever, as if I'm just sitting around waiting just to give something to them for nothing in exchange. All you need to understand is nobody does something for nothing. Okay? When you go and offer someone to help them, you just want to be in the room. Whatever I got to do to be in the room. I need to get your coffee. You need to get your shoes clean. You need to put gas in your car. You need your car washed. You need me to make some copies. You need me to do some filing. You need me to go through your inbox and just get rid of the spam messages and delete stuff. You need me to return some phone calls. What is it that you need me to do? You need me to clean the bathrooms. Whatever I need to do just to be in the mix. Tell me what that is, and I don't want anything in exchange. That's the offer that you need to make to whomever you're trying to get in touch with. Whatever they want or need, you do it in exchange for your ability to learn from them. All right, you need to be explicit with this offer, meaning when you come to this person, tell them, I just want to be in the mix. I just want to be in the circle. I just want to learn from you through observation. Now, I'm not asking you to sit down with me 30 minutes every week. I'm not asking you to write any emails. I'm not asking you to answer any of my questions. I'm not asking if I could just ask you, sit down and ask you every question I got written down. No, you don't want any of that. All you want to do is learn from them through observation, meaning it's not going to take any of their time. All you're going to do is just watch them, and you're not going to talk to them, and you're not going to expect anything from them, but you'll do whatever you got to do just to be in the mix. That's your offer. That's the offer that you make, and you must be explicit with this offer, meaning they need to hear you say exactly what I just told you. All right, you need to say that. Don't think it, say it. You're doing this not because you are worthless, and not because you're a bum, and not because your time and attention is worth zero. It might actually be worth zero. You might be a bum, and you might be worthless right now, but maybe you're actually good. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that you may be good. You may actually be worth something. But you're doing this because your effort is your payment in exchange for the education that you need. You see, the person who's already on, they're already in the spot that you want to get to. They know some things that you don't know. They're doing some things that you're not doing. All right, they have certain things in place that you don't have in place. I don't know exactly what they are because to each his own, everybody's unique, right? But there are certain things that they have and that they're doing and that they know that you don't have, you're not doing, and you don't know. You can agree to that, right? Because if everything was exactly the same, you would be in their spot. So since you're not, there's something they got that you ain't got. Knowing this, you knowing that there's some things that you don't know, and you might not even know what the things are that you don't know, but you know there's something that you don't know, you're getting education from that person just by being in their mix. Just by being next to them, you're getting education from that individual. So we all know that education costs money. You been to college? Was it free? Even if you were on scholarship, it wasn't free. Somebody paid for it. Everything costs. Education in general, and we're talking about high-level education, is not free. College isn't free. Now, are the prices of colleges a little bit bloated right now? Yes. But even learning from a person on the internet, they're going to have a book, but the book costs money. Or they have a course, you got to pay for the course. They can be your coach or your mentor, but you got to pay to be part of that mentorship group or part of that mastermind or to get that online course or to hire that person as a coach or a consultant. The high-level information from high-level individuals, especially when it's personalized to your specific situation, that's going to cost you money. Even if it's general to a certain situation, it's going to cost you money. All right, so you understand that education is going to cost you. All right, there's something you need to give in order to get the education. All right, if you don't understand that or you don't agree with that, then you can turn this off because everything I'm going to say after this will not apply to you. You have to understand that your education costs. Okay, now with that agreement in place, I'm assuming that everything I say from this point forward is to people who agree with that. You're giving your payment for your education and your time and your presence and your energy. All right, you're going to pay for it with that since you might not have the money to give. Now, if you got the money, you could shortcut all this and just pay. It might cost you thousands of dollars. If you ain't got that to give right now, then this is your method. You're doing your efforts, your giving, your work, whatever you're going to do to be in that person's mix is the payment for the education that you need. And you might not even know what education you need. So it's your job to be observant and pay attention. I'm going to get into that in a minute. There are too many people out here these days who have no knowledge, no specialized knowledge for the thing that they want, yet they don't want to pay for the education. No knowledge whatsoever for the thing that they want to do, yet they do not want to pay for the education that they could possibly get. Which makes no sense to me. I mean, if you're one of those people, you shouldn't even be listening to me because I talked about investing in yourself too many times that I think you would pretty much understand that the things that I'm talking about are not aimed at you. And I had a person come to me, my book, The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. This is the only guidebook that exists that tells people the real from an actual player who actually did it, coming from a D3 school, how to play professional basketball. It's the only book out there. There is no competition to this when it comes to the specific topic of playing basketball overseas. I tell people you can get the book free. All you gotta do is pay a small shipping and handling charge. So it costs us money to print the book, costs us money to ship the book, costs us money to package the book. You pay the shipping and handling charge, the book is free, it's already paid for. I can charge $50 for this book. I can charge $300, I can charge $1,000 for this book. How much you gonna make playing overseas? I'm giving you the book free. All you do is pay a small shipping charge. I had somebody send me a message and say, Dre, do you have a digital version of the Overseas Basketball book? And I said, sure I do. If you go to the webpage at balloverseas.com where you order the book, the free book, you can choose the digital version. And the person said to me back, and the digital version comes in a bundle. You would get the digital, you would get the physical, you also get the audio, and we rush the shipping to you. So you're going to get the physical book, and no matter which package you pick. And the person said to me, well, I still need to pay the shipping charge if I get the digital book. Now, I didn't even respond to this person's message because I understand, I'm going to assume that I figured what this person was trying to say. This person was trying to avoid having to pay the small shipping and handling charge because they wanted the digital version of the book. All right, now, it's like this. You want to play professional basketball. How much money do you expect to make? And there's only one book out there that shows you how to do it, but you don't want to pay less than $10 to get the information. All right, you shouldn't even be talking to me. All right, there are too many people out here, and I'm just using that as an example, but there are many more out there, many more that I've experienced myself. Maybe you've experienced some. Maybe you've been one of the perpetrators of this shit. Too many people who have no specialized knowledge for the thing that they want to do, yet they don't want to pay any money to get the education. Well, what the fuck are you doing? You don't want to pay to learn it, but you know you don't know it. Well, where are you going? All right. This is your way in. I just told you how to get in. Find a person who has the knowledge. You can either pay them for the knowledge that they're offering, their books, their courses, their online meetups, their mastermind group, their live event, whatever they have going on that is paid. You can pay them and get the information, and or you can go to that person and say, listen, I work for you for free. Just tell me what to do. All I want to do is just be in a circle. All I want to do is be around. All I want to do is be in a room, and I learn from you just by being next to you. Again, you're not asking them for any commitment to you. You're just asking them to tell you what to do. You'll do it. That's point number one. Point number two. Today's topic, once again, is the simple steps to putting yourself on in life. Once you get in, once you make this offer and this person accepts your offer, whatever that offer is, I already told you what the offer is. Now you got to do whatever you're asked to do. Now remember, the reason why you're doing this is because you're getting the education. You need to be paying attention the whole time while you're doing this. You can get the education. You can figure out what you don't know. You can learn what you need to learn. But whatever you're supposed to be doing to stay in that room, do it. Remember that you're paying for your education with this job that you're doing. All right. So in other words, this is your internship / apprenticeship. So you got to make yourself a linchpin. You know what a linchpin is? That's the part that can't be replaced. All right? You want to be the opposite of, you want to have anti-fungibility. To be fungible means easily replaceable. Right? You want to be the opposite of that. Okay? Don't be easily replaceable. Be indispensable to the operation. The way that you become that is by mastering your role and eventually becoming a needed individual. How do you become a needed individual when you walked into the room as a nobody? Nobody knew you. No one asked for you, and you are an unpaid, intern / apprentice / mentee. How do you become indispensable? Well, you need to be looking at what's going on. You need to notice what needs to be done, and you need to be a person who takes initiative and gets it done. You need to be an A player, a level 10 individual. I talked about A players and level 10 individuals in previous masterclasses here on this show. I talked about the level 10 individuals in masterclass number 870, characteristics of level 10 people. And I talked about A players, and let me see where I can get that episode where I talked about the A players. This is masterclass number 1388, why you must fill your team up with A players, which came out early March in 2020. You need to be an A player, a level 10 individual, meaning, what does it mean to be that? I'll suggest you listen to both of those master classes. You can get all the details that I explained. But one of the key elements of being a level 10 individual, an A player, is you're the type of person who notices a need that has been yet unfilled, and you go fill it. You just fill the need because you saw the need, not because somebody told you there was a need, not because somebody asked you to go fulfill the need. It's because you saw the need, you went and did it. You went and handled that situation without anyone even having to ask you to handle the situation. That's what a level 10 individual does. That's what an A player does. If you want to be that type of person in any group, you got to notice things. You got to be paying attention. You got to be an initiative-taking individual. If you're already doing that in your life, then it will be an easy transition for you. If you're not already doing that, then take this as your wake-up call. All right, your unstated goal is to become a linchpin in any group you become a part of. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to tell anyone. But you got to make yourself needed. All right, not wanted, needed, required. You got to make yourself a person that if you're not there, everything falls apart. That's a linchpin. And you're going to do this starting at zero, starting as a nobody who just begged your way into the room to work for free. You're going to become a linchpin. And this is a mindset, people. This is not about a level of skill that you have. It's a mentality. So once you become a linchpin, so we got the first point, right? You're going to go and ask to just be in a room. You'll do whatever just to stay in the room. Then the next thing you're going to do is whatever you're asked to do and a whole bunch of things that you were not asked to do, using your insight, using your intellect and your intelligence, making yourself a linchpin so that you are indisposable to the group. You must be there for the group. You become a linchpin. Then what happens is, after you become a linchpin, now we move on to point number 3. Today's topic is simple steps to putting yourself on in life while you are doing your jobs. This is point number 3. While you're doing your jobs and being a linchpin and being irreplaceable, you got to pay attention. Listen, watch, take notes. Pay attention. We talked about paying attention in many episodes of this show. Most recently, Masterclass number 1272, Learning to Pay Attention. Masterclass 1040, Attention spans are not as short as you think. In Masterclass 848, How to Lengthen Your Attention Span. How about 802, How to Pay Less Attention what other people are doing. Attention is a valuable commodity. While you are doing your jobs, you got to pay attention, listen, watch, take notes, be on point. Do not miss anything. Do not miss anything that's going on. Whoever that person is or the people are who you're there to watch, to learn from, to get your education via osmosis, meaning just paying attention, not because they're sitting down talking with you. Notice I've said that many times here because I don't want you to go into there with some expectation they're going to sit and talk to you because they owe you nothing. Ask questions. Implement the things that you can implement as soon as you learn them. Not writing them down and get to them 3 weeks later. As soon as you learn them, implement them. This is where and how you begin to build your own thing. You're noticing things, you're getting the education, and you implement as you learn. The reason that another person is willing to let you listen and learn is because you have become so valuable to them via your work and your willingness to listen that they want to keep you around. Notice I said 2 things, your work and your willingness to listen. And let me tell you a secret here about anyone who's reached a level of success, and when it comes to the people who come to them asking them, hey, can I learn from you? Can I work for you? Can I be around anyway? Is there any way that I can get into your mix, into your circle? Understand, when people become successful and it becomes noted in any public type of way, they get these kind of requests all the time. But 99% of the people who come to them asking these questions are not serious. They're not willing to give the work. They're not willing to put the time in, and they just don't pay attention. They're basically wasting time. So let me give you a key secret here that most people will never tell you. Yes, working for another person and not expecting to be paid in any way for that work does make you valuable. But here's another thing that makes you valuable to a person who has already achieved success is when you listen. A lot of people just don't listen. A lot of people love the sound of their voice so much, yet they have very little to offer by way of their verbal exchanges. They don't have anything to share because they haven't done anything. They haven't achieved anything. They have no specialized knowledge, yet they won't shut the fuck up long enough to listen to anything that somebody who knows a lot more than them has to say. So when you come around and you get around a person who has some achievements and you actually listen to what they're saying, that is payment as well. Everyone loves the sound of their own voice. We are all interested in our favorite subject, which is ourselves. The problem is we have very few people who are willing to listen to us talk about our favorite subject, which is ourselves. So when you come around and you're actually willing to listen, then you can suppress your own ego and your own need to speak. And when you're talking to someone who knows 100 times more than you, what do you need to? Why are you talking? Unless they ask you a direct question or you're speaking to ask a question, you shouldn't be talking. So being willing to listen is also part of your payment. Most people say they want to learn, but as soon as they start getting taught, they start talking. All right, you said you want to learn. All right, you can't learn by talking. I mean, in a way you can, but in general, no. You learn by watching and listening. As the saying goes, you have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. All right, that's an 80-20 ratio. Notice that? The 80-20 rule, you heard of that? Make sure you are listening. Listening is a great way to pay it forward or backward to anyone out there, because most people just don't listen on any subject, any point, any position in life. People just don't listen because everybody's thinking about themselves. So you can be the opposite of that. The opportunity in life is always in the opposite. That's in Masterclass 1025. You got an opportunity on your hands. Point number 4. Today's topic is the steps to putting yourself on in life. Now, with the knowledge and the resources that you have gleaned from doing what you're doing, from doing the work that you're doing, now is when you can start your own thing small and you can slowly level up. Starting your own thing. You already have learned and observed what this other person is doing, or what these other people are doing, or what this organization is doing. All you got to do now, start small. You can keep doing the work that you're doing and slowly level up, slowly make it bigger, slowly make it better. Continue to implement, continue to iterate, continue to notice what's working and notice what's not working, make your adjustments. You can do this while continuing to work for someone else. And maybe by this point, you made yourself a linchpin. That person will probably have come to you and said, listen, I'm going to start paying you because I want to keep you around. I'm going to start paying you because I see how valuable you are. And if I lose you, it would cost me more to lose you than it would cost me to pay you. I'm going to pay you to keep you around because I want you on the team. If you're not being offered a job by the person that you came to and asked to work for free, it's probably because you're not that good. You haven't made yourself irreplaceable yet. You're still replaceable. They haven't offered you a job. You're not doing a good enough job. You need to do better. You need to work harder. You need to work on your game and improve your performance. You come in somewhere working for free, you should eventually be asked to work for pay. If you're not being asked to work for pay, step your game up. Ask someone else who's already working there, who's getting paid, one of the favorite workers or favorite employees or favorite interns of the bosses. Ask them what they're doing or what they did that made them so useful. And then ask them also, what are you not doing that's causing you to still be replaceable? And they'll tell you. You got to be humble enough, disciplined enough to ask the question. If you haven't been offered a position, let's just say 6 months of work. It might not take that long, but after 6 months, you're working for free and nobody's offered you a job, all right, you ain't that good. All right, and if you leave, you're not hurting anybody. All right, in 6 months is going to be pretty clear. All right, to you and to them. So, on point number 4, with the knowledge and the resources that you have gleaned, start your own thing. You can be small, you can slowly level up. Hey, you can start big if you want. You can start small and level up. You can do this while continuing to work for someone else, and I just laid out the whole process for you. Start small, get better, iterate, notice what's working, notice what's not working, make your adjustments, wash, rinse, and repeat. That's how you get your foot in the door. So let's just say that you were a basketball player. You want to play basketball at the professional level. Go find somebody who's already playing pro basketball. Tell them, look, I'll help you in your workouts. You need a rebounder? Look, I'll rebound for you. I don't need to take no shots. I don't want to play you one-on-one. I'm not going to ask you a million questions unless you're willing to answer some questions. I'll just rebound for you just because I want to see how a professional works out. I want to see what kind of drills you're doing and how you're doing your thing. I'll come to the gym. I won't say anything. I'll shut the fuck up the whole time. I'll just rebound for you. You tell me what shots you're taking, how you want the ball, what you want me to do. I'll rebound for you. That's all I'll do. You're working out for 2 hours tomorrow morning. I'll be there. I'll just rebound for you the whole time. I don't need to shoot the ball not once. So that's point number 1. You found somebody who was already doing it. You offered to help them for free. And I guarantee you that will help them. Now do whatever you're asked to do. They're going to say, just grab these rebounds. And we're recapping the episode here as we do this. So point number 1, find somebody who's already doing it, who's already already knows what they're doing. Make them an offer that they can't refuse, something that they will easily say yes to. Then point number 2, do whatever you're asked to do. Remember that you are getting your education from this person by watching in exchange for the work that you're doing. Make yourself indispensable. Be so good at the work that you're doing for free that this person wants to keep you around, that will eventually they'll say, look, I'll start paying you to come around. I'll pay you to be my rebounder because you've been so good at it that I need you now. All right. It was convenient to have you at first. Now I actually need you. Do whatever you are asked to do. Your unstated goal is to become so good that they're willing to keep you around. Now, point number 3, while doing your job, pay attention. Listen, watch, take notes, be on point. Don't miss anything. Ask questions when you have a chance to. Implement everything that you can implement as you learn. This is where and how you begin to build your own thing. Again, you made yourself so valuable because not only of your work, but also through your listening. Because the person will talk to you if you show that you're good. They're going to start sharing with you because they see that you're good. They see that you have the potential to get to the level that they're at, maybe even surpass them. They're willing to talk to you because they found a kindred spirit. Point number 4. Now with the knowledge and resources that you have gleaned, start doing your own thing. You can take that basketball player who's going to talk to you. They're going to share things with you. They're going to ask you questions because they want to find out how the hell this person came about. Where did you come from that you're willing to listen? You're willing to do these things. You're willing to work for free. You're willing to make yourself indispensable. You are so good. They're going to start talking to you because they just want to find out where the hell you came from, because there's so many people who are not like you. Now, point number 4, the things that you have learned from this other player, now you can start implementing them into your own workouts, into your own training, and maybe you'll get an opportunity just by being next to that person. But if you don't, you already have enough information. You're in a much better place than you were when you were doing it by yourself. So let's just rewind. And let's say you're an entrepreneur trying to follow the same process. You're trying to start your own business. You don't know what to do. Go find somebody who already has their own business, already knows what they're doing. Go look at what they're doing. See where they could probably use some help. It'd be great if you could do this for them. See where they need some help and tell them, look, I noticed that you might need some help with your Instagram posts, or maybe you need somebody to edit your YouTube videos, or maybe you need someone who can post your blogs. You write, I'll edit them and I'll post them up on your site so you don't have to do it yourself. All you gotta do is write it, I'll take care of the rest. Or someone who can respond to your email for you or something like that. Go see where they have a need that you can fulfill and offer them the specific need that you can fulfill. If you can figure that out for them, even better than them having to figure it out for you. But if you can't figure it out, go tell them, I'll do whatever you need to do. I'll do it completely for free. I just want to be in the mix so I can learn from you. All right, so that's step number one. They're going to say yes if you make this offer correctly and respectfully. Number two, do whatever they ask you to do. Remember that your work is payment for your education. This is your internship. All right, master this role and make yourself needed. Number three, while doing those jobs, pay attention to what that person's doing. Pay attention to how they do the things, how they say things, how they interact with people, the decisions that they're making, their policies, everything that they're doing. Note everything. Do not miss anything. Be on point. Listen and watch. Do not get caught not paying attention, because that will make you a fool. All right, it's your payment to pay attention. All right, people are so caught up in their own worlds these days that when we finally come across somebody who's actually willing to listen to us, we value them, because we get to share who we are and we know that someone's actually listening. And point number four, now with the knowledge and resources that you have gleaned and obtained in this process, you can start your own thing small and you can slowly level up, or you can start big and start medium and slowly level up what you're doing, because you're getting the information from someone who has already mastered it. So all you had to do is model after them, not necessarily copy them, because you're not them. You may not have the same business or same idea, but you can model what they're doing. I just laid out the whole process for you. So if you want to get your foot in the door, you want to put yourself on, now you know exactly how to do it. You have no excuses. Work on your game. Dre all day.